we hop in, I'm going to go over a couple things just so I can answer any questions you might have beforehand. Before we connected, I pulled you some oracle cards. We're not going to go over them in the session, but I will send you pictures and guidebook descriptions, and that'll be a deeper level of messaging. And then I asked each one of your chakras what kind of crystals would help them with healing, and I built you a crystal grid, and so I'll send you a picture of that as well. And then I will get the replay to you either this evening or tomorrow, if that's okay.
Perfect.
Awesome. Okay. So for your notes, I saw here that we wanted to talk about inner child healing or anything else that comes up. So is there anything specifically that you want to focus on or that you have a question about or something that's been coming up with inner child healing or really just want to see what's there?
I think let's just see what's there.
Okay.
I Yeah, like I said earlier, I'm just blah-ish, and yeah, maybe we can uncover something.
Absolutely. Okay. So before we get into that, what areas of life have you been kind of feeling stagnant in thus far?
I think just maybe energy and creativity.
Mm-hmm.
I feel just like I'm going through the motions and I'm not um, trying to feel like what would make me happy or or all of my family. I just have a husband and son. So just I just want to be more just light and happy instead of just, and nothing's really bad, honestly, at all. It's just, I just want to just feel lighter and happier.
Right. We feel like we're kind of in Groundhog Day where it's just the same thing over and over again. Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. I'm like, oh, my house needs cleaned and, um, you know, just maybe just the normal stuff is
Feeling like
heavy.
we don't have energy to do the
Right.
things that we want to do. Okay.
I just don't want to do it. So
Gotcha. Okay.
just need a
So
little spark.
what are you doing about bringing new energy into your life? Trying new things, going new places and spaces?
Not very much.
Hmm. Okay, I get in these ruts sometimes because I'm a very much creature of habit. I really like schedules and I like routines that keeps me on track in life. And then there's this other really rebellious part of me that's like I cannot do the same thing every single day. And so I make sure consciously that throughout the week I am doing things that are getting me out of my routines, and that can look different for different people. So that might look like me going to a different coffee shop or me going to a store I haven't been to before or making a new meal, just something that is out of order for me. And it really does help bring that spark back in because we get in these subconscious mindset grooves. And when that happens and we're just doing the same thing over and over again, the signs and the synchronicities start to slow down as well. And we stop having new ideas come in and downloads and insights. And so now we're just bored and we feel disconnected and cut off from source and ourself and our inner kids. And so something that you can do is ask your inner kids, what do they want to do? They
Hmm.
might want to color. They might want to go get some bubbles. They might want to go on a stroll in the park. They have different needs and desires than adult you.
Mhm.
So that would be a great place to start. But, or sometimes, I don't know if are you a walker? You like to go on walks?
Yeah, I do.
Sometimes I will drive to different neighborhoods
Mm,
and just walk around there because it's all new houses, new decor. It's just
right.
things that are not familiar. Sometimes I'll watch documentaries about things that I have no idea about previously. One time I watched this documentary on ants.
Mhm.
Fascinating. And then all
Yeah.
of a sudden I started getting all these signs and synchronicities about ants and how we as light workers are like them in the collective. So we just need to do some things to generate more energy in our life, but you have to be the one to generate it. And I know that's difficult when you're tired. You're saying
This
I
is
don't have energy, right? But part of life is experiencing new things and having variety. And
Mhm.
so that's probably where you're lacking.
Yeah. I can see that.
Kind of like with our partners, when we first start dating, we're going to all these new things and experiencing all these fresh things together. And then you kind of stop doing that after the years. And then there's a stagnation there as well.
Right.
And that's another representative of, okay, well, we need to do some things that are outside of our comfortability zone to kind of re-spark the light there.
Right.
So what would that look like for you?
Um, yeah, personally, just maybe trying to get some things done. Like I was thinking, oh, I should go shopping a couple different places. Um, I don't know. I think I'm just more hooked on like trying to get things done, but
We can't
um,
get
but,
things up. We
but
got no
actually,
energy.
but actually doing it, yeah, maybe going to work out. I
Mhm.
keep thinking I need to have some greens. Go to the store and get, like actually help myself feel better and do some exercise and yeah, maybe just do something different, like meet a friend out for lunch or act on that.
Yes. When you were saying the things like exercise and greens and going shopping, your inner kids were saying, boring. Okay. So
Go
when
swing.
yes, when you were giving those when you were giving those examples, they're like, that's not fun stuff. Like that's taking care of ourselves, which that's great. We definitely want to do that. But those are all things that are regular schmegular things. That's
Yeah,
not fun and innovative. That's not outside of the box. That's like we need to go take a painting class or something, or go out with us a lunch with our friends, or something that expands our spirit, not just our physical body. Of course, we want to take care of that, like you're talking about, clean house, good food, exercise, all the things. That's not really like lighting the fire, though.
yeah, right.
Okay, so do those things too, but we need what is going to really rejuvenate us. Maybe it's go get a massage. Maybe it is go get our nails done, or go to the movies if you haven't been to the movies in a long time. It has to be something that's outside of your normal life. So what would that look like now that I'm asking you that?
Yeah, probably watch a movie. I
Okay.
don't want to go to the movies by myself. Um, I think, man, I am just super boring. Um, yeah, go to the lake,
Mm-hmm.
have some friends to the lake, get in the boat, go. Um, Trying to think where my happy place is. It's really when I'm with people and having fun socially. So, yeah,
Maybe we
trying
need
to,
to plan some things.
yes,
'Cause
right.
having something on your calendar to look forward to, that's going to get you excited. It's going to say, okay, well, next Friday, I'm going to go do this with my friends. And if you have something planned on your calendar like that and it gives you energy because now we're excited, it's like, okay,
Yeah,
well, now I feel a
cool.
little bit better about cleaning the house or going to the
Right.
grocery store because now I have something to look forward to.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to cost you a lot of money. It doesn't have to take up a lot of your time, but we need to be blocking out times that are doing things that, like you said, are sparking that light back in us that aren't our normal routine.
Yeah.
Yes, that will help. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. When I went into your energy fields, I was taken to kind of like a forest. It was almost like this field that we were in, and there was a tree stump, and a little girl was sitting on it. And I walked over, and it was an inner child version of you, and she's about 8 years old. And when I was talking to her, I said, "What are you doing?" And she said, "I'm just hanging out." I said, "Okay." I said, "Can I speak with you?" And she said, "Yes." And I asked her if she wanted to have a tea party. And she liked that idea. And then we sat up on the ground and we had all these stuffed animals. And then I snapped my fingers and they were all real, but they were really small. And she thought that was really fun. And then we were all drinking tea together. Then this crow walked up to us out of nowhere. And I was like, who is that? And she said, "That's my friend." I said, "Okay." And I asked her what his name was, and she said, "Albert."
Huh.
I said, "Interesting." I said, "Where did Albert come from?" She said, "I don't know. He's always been here." I said,
Huh.
"Oh, okay. Is he one of your spirit guides?" And she said, "I'm not sure." And we're going to talk about this ability that your 8-year-old child has that I have not seen before. That was fascinating. Okay. So, have you ever seen the movie Maleficent?
No.
Okay, it is, I don't know if it's a Disney movie, but it is this woman who is, oh, okay, do you know the story Sleeping Beauty? Okay,
Yes.
in Sleeping Beauty, she pricked her finger on what is that? Like a spindle type of thing. And then the curse was her going to sleep. Well, part of that story is a woman named Maleficent, and she is a dark fae kind of goddess energy. She has these big giant wings, this big horn. She has very dark energy, but she's very misunderstood. She's very powerful. She has some really good qualities to her. But again, she's perceived a lot of times in this very dark, luminous energy. So after I saw the crow, I saw this being that was watching us in the forest. And I said, "Who is that?" And she said, "That is Mildred."
Yeah.
I said, "Who is Mildred?" And she said she has always been here as well. I said, "Okay." I asked your little girl what she wanted to talk to me about because obviously she called me in to speak with her and she said, "I don't have anything to talk about." She said, "I'm okay." I said, "Great." I said, "Maybe I'm here to talk to Mildred then." Because I assumed that Mildred was a different incarnation of you or a spirit guide, right? So I asked Mildred to come over and she was giving me very much, "I don't want to talk to you" energy.
Hmm.
And she was guarding and protecting your 8-year-old. And I said, "I'm here as a representative of Julie today." And I was explaining that I was going to help you in, different areas. And she was kind of still giving me this energy of like, I don't know. And so I have my Akashic records, which sometimes I'll hand to people like a portfolio. And I said, "Here, you can take a look at the body of my work if you would like, because I knew I wasn't going to be able to talk to your inner child without passing through her,
Yeah.
right? Your inner child was not wanting to talk to me about things." And so Mildred said, "Okay, you check out." I said, "Okay." And I said, "Well, what can I help you with?" And when I said that to her, she was like, "I don't know if you can help me with anything." And I said, "Okay." And I said, "Well, what can you help Julie with, the adult?" And she said, "Follow me." And so me and your 8-year-old started walking, and we went kind of into this castle. And all of a sudden, something didn't feel quite right. I was like, something's funky here. And I looked at your 8-year-old and I said, "Hey," and I squatted on the ground with her. I said, "You don't have to be scared." I said, "I'm here and I love you so very much. And Julie loves you so very much. That's why we're having this experience. I would love to take you somewhere that is super fun and magical and whimsical." And she's like, "Yes, I want to go." So I took her to the rainbow dimension, which there is an amusement park there where like inner children can go hang out and have fun and play. There's unicorns and sparkles and glitter. And she was so excited. And when I was speaking with her, I said, "Oh, Mildred's not real, is she?" And she said, "No." And I said, "Oh, you created an illusion for me." And she said, "Yes, I did." I said, "Wow, you are so incredibly powerful because I have had inner children before that have created illusions oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, my thing froze. Okay. I have had inner children that have created illusions before to serve as kind of a protector. She was so powerful that she created one that I thought was a past incarnation of you.
Huh. Wow.
It was that animated and
Huh.
that strong of an energy field. And I was like, "Girl," I said, "you almost got me." I said, "Wow." I said, "That's amazing." And the crow that she had. And I asked her why she created that. And she said, "As a form of protection." And we'll get into the dynamics of why she formed that here in a second. But I asked her, what do you want to do with those powers? I said, that's amazing that you did that. And I said, you can write books if you want to, like a children's book or an adult fantasy book, because the characters that you could create would be beyond. They would feel like real characters to the people that were reading them. I said I was reading her like a actual physical being. And she was like, oh, really? And I said, yeah. Or you can create characters for screenplays, whatever that looks like for you, even if you don't do it professionally, if it's something that you do for fun, like with adult Julie, that would be great too. But you would be really good at that. Did you used to write as a kid?
No, but I was very creative as far as
Mm,
make believe play. I was in my one teacher described me as being in my own world.
yes.
And at that age, really, I was around that
Mhm.
time. Yeah, I was just always doing my thing, playing in my room with my Barbies and my Fisher Price people and making up all kinds of things. I just had a ball by myself. So, um, yeah, I did that all the time. Just, but I don't do that now. But I think about, I can still remember what, some of that.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I'm definitely not as, I think, I could write a children's book just because it's not as, you don't have to keep going on and on about a story. And I don't feel like my English is, um, I don't read. So, I mean, I read some,
Mhm.
but it's like, eh, I don't have the patience. But yeah, so that is interesting though. I do feel like I was really creative as a child.
There's a very strong imagination, not just her, like multiples of your inner children.
Yeah.
So what I was telling her again is she doesn't necessarily have to write a book if that's something that you chose to do. She and you would be very good at it at creating these characters. But this is something that you can go in with your inner children and just have fun and play around with too and be in your imagination with, because connecting with different dimensions and different frequencies and different beings, mythological creatures, unicorns, dragons, fairies, that's all based out of having a really good imagination. So if that's something that you want to expand your spiritual gifts, beautiful place to start with her. Let's create some fun, whimsical characters.
Yeah.
And what I was explaining to her is, let's take Maleficent. Even though she's not technically quote unquote real, okay, she is an archetype that carries these certain personality traits and these gifts and these abilities. She has really great confidence, good self concept. She's a very powerful sorceress. I was telling her that these characters that she either resonates with or that she creates, you can embody those energetics and
Hmm.
channel that energy from those characters
Hmm.
and make that a part of your personality. So she created this type of Maleficent character because she needed somebody to channel that energy from. Because the reason when you were little, is what she was telling me, is that your boundaries were being crossed a lot. Tell me what comes up when I say that.
Uh, Me, my brother,
Okay.
um, he would just hit me like not.
Mhm.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
didn't
just
feel
like
like it was
sibling.
just like sibling
Yeah.
hitting, or yeah, he was always just um, bossing me around. I should say, yeah, just really um, bully, like a bully
Mm.
type. Yeah, definitely. So
Was
I
he older than you?
yeah, 4 years older.
Oh, 4 years. Okay. Yeah.
So, um, but and I'm not sure about my mom and dad. They were pretty hands off.
Mhm.
Um, my dad was busy teaching and being a swim coach. So I don't, and my mom, she was very controlling. She was
Mm.
always had to be, kind of have her finger on what my brother and I were doing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that was annoying, challenging.
I can see that.
So,
What's really interesting with this Maleficent character is who she was kind of modeling this off of. So there's somewhere you have seen this for it to be in your consciousness because I was like, this is Maleficent. So Maleficent's story is that she is kind of a mother figure to Sleeping Beauty. If you're gonna watch the movies, which I would recommend watching them. There's a part one and a part two, and I think they would very much resonate with you and your inner children within. And we did talk about you watching new movies. So
nice.
that'd be good. Okay. I'll send you the posters of them so you know what they look like.
Oh,
Uh,
great.
but she serves as kind of a strong mother figure to Aurora or Sleeping Beauty in these movies. And with your mother being kind of this controlling figure, again, this is kind of a consciousness or an archetype that she has birthed to watch out over her. So if you do have kind of trauma and PTSD with your mother, her birthing this character to kind of take care of her and say, like, I'm not letting anybody harm her or talk to her any
Uh,
type of way, because that's the energy she was giving me when I came in. She was like, I don't know you.
yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay. So when I was also speaking to her, I told her that she's also a very powerful manifester because all manifestations are based out of imagination and strong emotions. That's how you materialize things.
Hmm.
I said, if you work with adult Julie with this strong imagination that you have, y'all could really manifest some really amazing things going into these internal journeys and experiencing these things that you desire internally first. That's how you project them outside of you. So, what is it that you're currently trying to manifest?
Uh, my husband just being nicer
Okay,
or just more just, I don't know,
kind.
attentive, kind,
Okay.
being willing to remodel our kitchen or, he doesn't want to change anything. And I'm more like, I like to change. I want things to be nice.
Mhm.
And I feel like he doesn't care. He doesn't want things to change. So we have a lot of conflict that way. So I feel like I think that's part of the reason I'm not excited about too much. It's just I I don't feel like I can change it. So I
Mm,
keep trying to manifest. Okay, um, I'd like to be in a different reality where I have a better house, or where my husband is like, okay, let's do that, and so, but it hasn't changed. So I'm not manifesting it very well.
all right. So, also, what I'm hearing underneath that is I don't feel that I have the support that I need, not just with the kitchen. I don't feel like I have the support that I need in this reality. So,
Right.
what comes up when you hear that? I know that's heavy. So take
Right.
your time with it. But what comes up when you hear that?
Yeah, just be happy doing the same thing. I think that's where I'm just like, nothing's going to change. So just deal with it.
We feel stuck and constricted. And it's difficult when we don't have a lot of other people around us that are on the same wavelengths or understand manifesting or have these really high vibrations and high frequencies that are hyping us up and supporting us. That's what we need in our life. And so higher self is saying, hey, one of the ways that we can do that is by putting ourselves out there more to find that community, whether that's online communities, whether that is people that we take an art class with, or we join a hiking group, or we join some type of volunteering where we're around other people doing high frequency, high vibration activities. It doesn't always have to be spiritual and woo.
Right.
It can be people doing good things together, right? But we need to find some more persons to surround ourselves with, because what it sounds like is you've gotten kind of in this pigeonhole and now we're in a vortex and it's
Right.
getting stronger and stronger. And your husband, is he around right now?
No,
Okay,
he's,
just want to check.
yeah.
Okay.
My
So,
husband and son are at Boy Scout camp.
oh, okay. Okay. So when we are really stuck in these vortexes with people who are not in the same space and frequency that we want to be in, we start to build resentment against them, and then we start to point a lot of energy and attention at them, and we start to say, you are the reason that I am upset and I can't make forward movement, right? And it's just constant being mirrored back to you. So higher self is saying, we need to take some pressure off of him, even though he's part of the, we won't call it an issue, but what you're working through right now. Okay. We need to start finding fulfillment outside of what is happening in our current circumstances. So, yes, is the kitchen bothering you? Sure. Is he not helping you with it? Yes, that is happening. But that's just a facadal illusion of something that's deeper that's upsetting you. It's, I don't have the support that I need in my life. I'm not feeling uplifted. So that is what we need support with. Because if you felt more fulfilled in those areas, you would be showing up in those conversations differently with your husband about the kitchen
Hmm.
and not so lashing out energy and why are you not doing this, right? And pointing all of this kind of negativity that way, that it's creating this dissonance between you and him, and it's probably making him not want to do it even more.
Right.
Right. So this is where we have to look at, okay, what's actually going on underneath here? Yes, I'm upset about the kitchen, but I'm just feeling stuck. And that's not something he can fix. And it's not something the kitchen will fix either. Even if you
Hmm.
did get it remodeled, we're still going to feel that way because it's what's under there. That's the issue. Okay. So when I say that, what comes up about finding more community to be around?
I don't know where to go in my town.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. Um, I would love, anyway, I do have some online groups and I
Mm-hmm.
love seeing what people's comments are. I don't I don't post anything or say much, but I could do that. But I love looking at what people say in, some of the woo-wee communities, and um, I like listening to Bashar. Just
Mm-hmm.
kind of, I love just all the new thoughts and perspectives, and you know different realities. Just thinking about that's really changed my life too, for the better. um, anyway, so yeah, online groups I'm part of, but I really don't have a group of friends physically to talk about this stuff with, so it would be nice to have that.
We need social interaction. Is
I
what
have
we need.
friends and they do bring up some of these things,
Mhm.
and yeah, like I have a group of card club girls, and we did my husband's family over Memorial Day, and
Mhm.
I don't feel like I have any friends there. um my card club, yeah, I have a really hard time having a good friend at all that I can talk about this with. If I think about it, I have good friends, but I don't have, and I'm sure, whatever. Yeah, I just, even my best girlfriend, I just don't feel super close to anybody right now other than my mom. And she'll talk a little bit about this stuff, but she's, old.
A different generation.
Old thinking,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. But she's the one I spend the most of my time with because she's physically not doing that great. So I just help her out. She lives close by. And then, yeah, and I have a few friends, close friends, but yeah, I just, I don't have, and I don't know why. I feel like I do push people away. Like I do want to be in my own little world. I don't want anyone to bother me. And then I want friends when on my terms. That doesn't always work that way. So yeah, I don't know what my deal is. Maybe that's one of the, I would like to know what's holding me back from finding a friend. My own health doesn't help either, but I feel like I'm better than I used to be. Got arthritis.
Well, let's get into that. Okay, so a couple of years ago, I was also in that space of I don't really want to be friends with anybody. And I was very much a hermit, and I did have friends, but they weren't the friends that I really deep down wanted that I could talk to about very spiritual, esoteric, deep things. It was always kind of surface level conversations. And that takes a lot of time and energy that I don't want to give out.
Yes.
And yes. So those friends are not going to just come knocking on your door. You got to go out and find them. So, one of the ways that I did that was I started, like you, interjecting myself in online communities and started interacting with people, not just watching, but interacting. And not that you want to have an energy healing business, that was my modus operandi, but through putting myself out there, I was able to find my soul tribe members. And then I actually met a lot of them in person.
Mm,
And
cool.
then, right? And I have been building this network of really beautiful, amazing souls ever since. But I had to put myself out there as far as where can I go take an art class or a yoga class or a hiking group or go to metaphysical classes, putting myself around other high vibe, high frequency people. I think that's what you're missing
Yeah.
is people that are a absolute cheerleader for your wild dreams and goals and aspirations. I tell my friends things, the friends that get it, I tell them things. They don't ask me how. They say, "Wow, that's so cool. What can I do to
Yeah.
help you? What can I support you with? How can I cheer you on?" That's what you need.
Yeah.
So higher self is saying we've got to find some places and spaces to put ourselves around those type of people. Sometimes it's easier to start online. It's not so scary of let me comment on this person's comment and have a
Yeah.
conversation or ask them, do you want to have a phone call or a Zoom with me? I've done that before. One of my best friends, we met each other on TikTok.
Huh.
And she said, "Hey, I see that you live kind of near me. Do you want to go have lunch together?" And I said, "Yes." And then we've been friends for almost 3 years now.
Oh, wow.
So it takes
Awesome.
action on your part of meeting the universe halfway so those friends can meet you halfway too. And that's part of bringing new energy and new life in without the expectation of, hey, this has to happen if I go do this. Let's say that you go to metaphysical fairs or art classes or hiking groups. Maybe you don't make a friend that day, but we're getting ourselves out there and getting ourselves used to being in places and spaces,
Yeah.
overcoming the social anxiety.
Right.
And realizing it's safe to be in these places. It's not like we're going to a bar.
Yeah.
It's not like we're going to church. It's not like we're going to these places. These are high vibe, high frequency. What I like to do every couple months is go through my city's events calendar and all the cities surrounding where I'm at in about an hour radius, sometimes 2 hour radius. and I will make a list of every single event that sounds fun and interesting to me, and I will put them all in my calendar. Even if
Uh,
I don't go, it gives
uh-huh.
me options.
Yeah. Right.
And when the weekend rolls around, I'm like, okay, I'm bored. What do I want to go do?
Yeah.
Oh, I see that they're doing a what are those things called? A succulent, putting a succulent pot together class. I'm gonna go do that.
Uh-huh.
And it's so surprising how many cool people that you can meet at these different places. It makes you feel so energized and alive.
Right. Yes.
That's what we need right now, not the kitchen, but we do need some support. Okay. Now, in regards to the kitchen, your higher self is saying, hey, there is a way that we could get ourselves to a reality where our husband does help us with this.
Okay.
We could be in a timeline where he says, you know what? This will make Julie happy. I want to do this. But you have to get yourself to that place in your imagination because those manifestations first happen internally. That is how you actualize things into matter. So you and that 8-year-old little girl or whomever you want to work with, your inner children, we want to request from them, hey, do y'all want to have a manifestation day where we go inside and we're going to envision that my husband is so incredibly excited to do this project. And he actually came to me and said, hey, how about we do this? And then we got the money from some unexpected place and it just came into our bank account with ease and grace. And then we hired somebody to help us, and the construction went so smooth. And every time I walk into my kitchen, I'm just so in love, and it makes me feel so happy and warm inside of this house. We need to make it as real as possible. And the more time and energy that you do that, the more likely that timeline is going to materialize.
Cool.
It's how much are we going to invest in that? You know what? My kitchen's already remodeled. Every time, like in real life, when you walk in there, we are envisioning that it is already done. What do you want it to look like? Get on Pinterest, make you a whole vision board of what you want this kitchen to look like. We need to birth this manifestation into creation. And when you go internally and have that relationship dynamic shift with your husband, even if it's not out here, if it's your pretend imaginary version of your husband in here, you're going to be pouring all of that energy out to him and he's going to start feeling it.
Mm.
It's a different projection that you're going to be sending his way, and he's going to be more open to new ideas and new concepts of maybe trying to do this kitchen, right? And you're going to be speaking to him in a completely different manner about it. So we know that we can never shift something within somebody else. We have to shift that in here first. What comes up when I say that?
I agree. Yeah. Makes sense.
Is that something that you think you can do with your inner children and remodeling the kitchen in here?
Yeah. I think that sounds exciting. Do
You
that.
you also don't feel like that you have to stop what your higher self is saying of what a normal kitchen would look like. Ask the inner
Mm.
kids, if y'all could put anything in here, what would you want? If you want a fish aquarium tank that surrounds all the walls, the more fun and magic that they're pouring into this creation, the more excited you get about it, and the more you're going to want to go in there and experience that in real time.
Sounds fun.
Awesome. Okay. So when I was talking to your 8-year-old after Mildred and Albert, we figured out that they were real, if that makes sense.
That's
I said, what do you think Julie needs help with right now? Because sometimes our inner children will have great advice for us as an adult. And she wasn't really wanting to tell me how she was feeling. So I thought maybe if she looked through your lenses, I could maybe decipher it a little bit better what she was needing. And so I said, what does Julie need? And when I read all of this to you, just bear in mind this is not representative of you. It's actually representative of her. She was just saying it was you. Okay. So she said, I think she needs to work on not being so afraid. I said, afraid of what? She said, outshining others.
Hmm.
She said, her imagination is so powerful. What if she ends up hurting someone? I said, what do you mean by hurting someone? Like, what exactly? Because that could mean so many different things. And I said, before we get into that, I said, what if she doesn't hurt someone? Because that's just as an equal as a probability. I said, do you think that she would want to use her magical powers then? And she said, no, because she would always wonder what if she could hurt somebody. I said, okay, so what is it? What is the worst case scenario of her hurting someone? And she said she would hurt their feelings. I said, oh, that's not so bad. I was thinking it was going to be something more intense. um, so I said, well, if she did hurt somebody's feelings, what could she do to make it better? And she said, hug them, say, I'm sorry, learn to do something different next time. I said, oh, that's great. Yes, all of that and above. And then she looked at me and she said, have you ever hurt someone with your magic? She was asking me. And I
Huh.
said, yes, I have actually. And she said, what did you do? Asking me. And I said, I hugged them, tell them I'm sorry, and learn better for next time.
Yeah.
Just like her advice.
Oh, sorry. I need to
Oh, you're
plug
fine.
this computer in. Awesome.
And I said, we all make mistakes, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't share our wonderful magic with the world. And I said, I want you to look at something. And I showed her a book, and the book was representative of all of the good things that she is ever going to do in her life. And then I also included the pages of her intentionally hurting other people. And what I mean by intentionally hurting is we say something ugly about somebody, or we give somebody like a ugly look, or nothing super intense, but just not showing up as our best. And when she looked at the book, there was thousands and thousands and thousands of pages of her doing really amazing things, and there was a couple pages of intentionally bad things. And she said, oh my gosh, there's so many pages. And I said, how does that feel? And when she held the book, she could feel the energy of all the goodness that she was going to put out into the world and that she had put out into the world. And she said, this feels amazing. And I said, are you even worried about these couple of pages over here? And she said, no. She said, this makes up for it. And I
Aw.
said, yes, it does. I said, the reason you have so many pages of good things that you're doing is because you are a beautiful, kind, and caring little girl. Even if we hurt somebody with our magic or with our words or our intentions or our actions, we are the type of person who is going to do everything in our power to remedy that and then learn and grow. So we're not a spiteful person. So what I was gleaning from this was there, and this is one of the reasons that she created the Maleficent character, is she was equating magic with authoritative figures and having power over people and then wielding that power to hurt other people. So I asked her why she was feeling that way, and she was saying that when you were younger, probably your mom, an authoritative figure that has a lot of power and that is not showing up in her best capacity and is maybe hurting your feelings or not giving you the things that you need during childhood. We think our moms are very special, even if they are still working on things. Okay. They're very magical, our moms. And so she was equating magic, the propensity of magic, of hurting other people. So some of your spiritual gifts have been a little closed off because she's been worried about regurgitating what happened with your mom
Mm.
to other people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be seen in this lens, in this light. I was like, girl, that's not you.
Mm.
You are not that type of person. So what comes up when you hear that?
Um, I I feel like I'm more messy. Um, what I want to say. My mom's always worried about what everyone else thinks and how she looks and how I look and making sure I have lipstick on or whatever. Like, I'm more like, I don't care. I
Yeah.
just want to be myself and have fun.
Mhm.
And I feel like I don't, yeah, like I don't get to do that. Um, so I think of that, but um, yeah, I'm not sure about um, I think if I'm creative enough, I can do whatever. Um, you know, just make it happen. So yeah.
Right, your higher self, when you said a second ago, I don't get to be myself. What does that mean? Because that's the sentence you said right before you said, "Oh, I can do whatever I want." So
Uh,
we got
I
some
would
mixed. We got
say
some. Go ahead.
in my mom's eyes, in my mom's eyes,
You don't get to. Okay, we don't get
right?
to do what
I
we want.
feel
We have
like
to do what she wants.
right, yeah,
Okay.
right. But I feel I'm not a little kid to her anymore. I feel like I'm bossing her around lately, and she's weak, and you know, but yeah, there's just always obligation surrounding her with everything. Just like, oh, I should go to church because that's where we grew up, and you or I need to stand up straight and wear my lipstick. It's like drives me crazy. But
Are you going to church because you're taking her to church, or are you going to church of your own volition because she says you need to go to church?
I haven't. I have really haven't been going. It's just like an inner, like I feel obligated, and I feel like the
Mm,
people don't think very highly of me. It's like, don't make me go. I don't want to go.
yes.
So I just have this inner struggle. It's like the church we've always gone to, and yeah. So I don't know really what to do about it. It's like I have this inner struggle, and what the way I deal with it is I just don't go to church. Like, yes, I'm getting to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I
Are
don't know.
we
Not very good.
feeling an internal shame and guilt, or are we feeling that we're afraid of the people's perceptions that are at church? Where is that coming from?
Right. Yes. And I think just because it's been the church my family's gone to forever. And my mom, I would be going if my mom were healthy enough. Um, she thinks she's not healthy enough, I should say, to go. So, and a lot of the reason I was going more in my adult life was just to spend time with her. Like, mom's going to church, so I might as well go too. And it's my church. So, yeah. But,
Well, what do you
and
think?
I,
What do you think? What do you think that the people at church are thinking about you, or what are you afraid that they're thinking,
oh,
or why do you care what they're thinking?
I know. I see them at different events. Like there was a wedding over the weekend, and there's a family that is really powerful, I guess, in my opinion, that they're very involved with the church.
Mm-hmm.
And, they do a lot of events. And I struggle with like would I be happier if I went to church and tried to be more involved with them? Or am I better just not going? I'm not going for the religion piece of
The
it.
community, the community, the
It's more
community.
the it's the more the community, right? And helping the people
Hmm?
and helping the church, I guess.
Uplift
It's
others.
the
Yeah.
up, yeah, it's just the more the interest in being a part of something. But yeah, I don't know. That's a real conflict that I have. This church, and it has to do with my mom and the control, and um, I feel like I'm not going because I get to choose. But then at the end of the day, and then I'm like, oh, I'm kind of a jerk for not going, um, and not helping. But
All right,
yeah,
so
it's
your
tough.
higher self was saying if you had a community that was outside of the church that you felt that you were a part of and that you were helping in some type of like volunteer project or just helping in some type of way with things,
Right,
do you think that that would fill that kind of void space that we are feeling and then we wouldn't feel the necessity to go to church? Or
right,
is it actually that we do really enjoy being a part of that church? So that's where we have to decipher what exactly is it that we're seeking, because maybe you
right,
really do like the people that are there and you enjoy it, or
right.
is it just community that we're really seeking?
I think it's community. I don't really enjoy that church.
Okay, so now we know what
So
it really is. So
yeah,
it's not actually
right.
having to do with the church. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think
Also,
it's
when you were
community.
talking about that family that's very powerful, if you will, I could feel in your energy body with your inner child scary danger. Not because, the authority and the controlling thing again, and the want to stay away from that. So, what's coming up around that area? Because you made it a point to say something about them. So, what's going on there?
Right. Maybe I feel like I'm letting them down. I do like those people.
Okay. When you're talking about them, it almost sounds like that you're slightly scared of them in the way that you presented it because you said there's
Maybe
this family that's really
it's
powerful.
power. Yeah.
What's under there? What is that?
Um,
And this is not us
yeah,
talking bad about persons because it's really about more so the energy. And these are
right,
things from trauma wounds from childhood. So we're figuring out
right,
why are we scared of anybody? Not these persons specifically. Why are we afraid of people in the church that are in power? Like what's going on there?
right. Yeah, just this Tamara lady. She's the mom of the family,
Hmm.
and she has 3 kids. Anyway, and then her mom and dad were my parents. Are my dad's gone. My mom's really great friend. So, my mom has the parents as friends, and then there's this Tamara, and they all go to church, and the family does a lot of things. And the Tamara can be really snappy
Hmm.
and demanding
Hmm.
at times. I mean, not she hasn't. She did ask me to be a deacon of the church,
Okay.
and I said yes. And then I thought about it, and I talked to my mom, and my mom's like, "No way, don't do that."
Why didn't your mom want you to do it?
Because it's just you have to go there all the time, and she knows I'm
Oh, she said you're
busy.
not involved enough.
Yeah, well, no, and she's my dad. Anyway, she just thinks it's a waste of my time.
Okay.
Not yeah, not just like it's just not something I would definitely be doing it
That's so
as a
interesting that you're so concerned about your mom's perception of you with the church. And then she's over here saying, girl, don't
don't
waste
do
your
that.
time.
I
That's
know.
very interesting.
And she's anyway. I don't know. It's
So,
just,
so what's the worst case scenario that's going to happen in regards to you being in connection with this family?
um,
It doesn't have to be anything terrible, but
yeah, I
there's
think
fears
just
run. There's some fear running under there of
that they wouldn't think very highly of me. You
why do
know,
you
I
need them to
just,
think highly of you? Do you still have some programming running of, well, if these religious people don't think that I'm valuable because I'm not participating in the church or helping in these certain types of way, that makes me a bad or evil person. Or it has something to do with heaven or hell, or there's something deeper in there. So why are we worried about
I know
perceptions of us?
that is, it's not heaven or hell or um, even God for that matter. It's just, yeah, maybe I just want them to, like, they have this big family
Mhm.
and it's really cool. Like, it's very special. And I like, I should be more involved with their things that they're doing because all the kids help and wedding, they're decorating for weddings or tearing them down or they whatever they do this grants house thing. So it's the family does a lot of things, and I guess I want to be part of it, but yet I don't want to have all the obligation. It's like, can okay, I haven't done anything, but can you still like me? So I think I do want to be included, and maybe I'm afraid, and does it really matter even when my mom's gone that I will lose that connection with the family.
Yes. What I heard your higher self say when you were talking was we're worried about being excluded, or we're afraid that we're going to be excluded from love from people who are doing good things,
Uh, yeah,
which is another representor of needing community because we are social creatures. And one of the reasons that you may not want to participate in not necessarily the church, but just those endeavors is because those persons are not in resonance with your true core soul being. Because sometimes in the church, there's like some politics, or sometimes there are some ideologies that we don't always agree with. There's just some energetics that can be off sometimes. And that's why we're not drawn to being a part of those places and spaces, even though they can be really amazing, beautiful human beings. Nothing wrong with religion or any of those contexts. It sounds that because there's those things that are off, that is what is kind of creating those barriers there. And it sounds like that there's some energetics running of, I think I might be better than them, or like and that's not necessarily the case. It's people have different truths, they have different values and different beliefs, and not everybody is our cup of tea, and they can still be a wonderful, beautiful human being, and they're just not for us, and that's okay too. That's where your higher self is saying, well, we do need to find some people who are, though. We need to put ourselves out there a little bit more to find people who are soul tribe members and who are interested in talking about spiritual stuff and woo, high vibe, high frequency goals, aspirations, dreams.
right,
That's really what we're wanting. And we're not going to church over here because we're only getting that halfway there.
right.
And it's
Yes,
not a full representation of the thing that we actually want. It's kind of take what you can get energy over
yes,
here.
right.
Yes.
Yes, that's how I feel about many, many people. It's
Yes.
just they're nice.
Sure, they can be great, amazing people. They're just not your people.
Yeah,
Right?
right,
Or your internal people. There's lots of people that I have in my life, but they're not all in my inner circle, if that
right,
makes sense, right? They're not the persons that I tell everything to and that I'm super open and vulnerable with. And
right.
that's who we need. So higher self said in this next chapter of our life, that's the karmic lesson. That's the karmic growth moment is we need to start building a community around us because all of these other things in your life that we're feeling very stuck and stagnant with or not having the growth in the different areas is because we can't be on an island by ourselves.
Yeah.
We've
That's
got to have other supportive people around us to lift
right.
us up. We can't, and also your growth and knowledge and your wisdom, we have to be around peers who are into similar areas of interest so that we can co-create, co-collaborate, and learn and grow together. And so higher self is like, this is what we need to be focusing on. It's going to help you flourish in all areas. When you feel fulfilled like that and that you're seen, heard, and validated and appreciated by others, it helps with your finances, it helps your husband, it helps with your son, it helps getting your kitchen done because you are radiating all this beautiful positive energy. But it's scary for starting to do those things and putting yourself out there. So you have to ask yourself, okay, the Julie that I want to be with these soul tribe members and involved in the community and the collective, is she allowing the fear to stop her? Or is she taking inspired action steps and putting herself out there? Well, then that's what I need to do in the here and now. Okay. And again, you can start out in online communities and just instead of looking at people's posts, actually engaging. But you also need people that are actually in the actual community.
Yeah.
Join a volunteer group. That's what you want to be doing in the church.
Yeah. Right.
Do it, do it, do it in the
Totally.
community and find some really awesome people. Find something that really speaks to your soul and your hearts that feels like it will fulfill you to help those type of persons. And then naturally you're going to be in resonance with those other volunteers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any questions about the things that we talked about?
I don't think so. Sounds right on the money.
Okay. Your higher
As
self
usual.
wants to ask you, are you going to go in and do the remodeling imaginative scapes with your inner children?
Oh, yes. I want
Okay.
to do that.
And every day we're affirming my kitchen is remodeled. It looks fabulous. It worked out exactly the way that I wanted it to. And I'm so happy that my husband was so excited about helping me with this. And I had some like, unexpected money that came in. It was so easy peasy, all the construction. We're affirming that. It doesn't matter what our actual physical kitchen looks like. It literally doesn't matter. What matters is how you see it internally, and then things start aligning in the 3D to make that reality true.
Okay.
Okay, you got to keep me updated on your kitchen.
Okay.
Okay,
Nice.
make a Pinterest board too of what you want your kitchen to look like, or a vision board.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
What was your biggest takeaway today?
uh, I need to get out of my self and um, start thinking, start connecting, start trying to make connections and seek my soul tribe and try to, bring those people to me instead of sitting here thinking,
Yes.
oh,
I will say that I had this really deep fear of going places by myself because I didn't want to be embarrassed or for people to think of like, oh, look at this sad girl over here by herself, or she doesn't have any friends or anything. And what I learned was not saying you did this, but for me, I sometimes was utilizing people as a crutch, as a social anxiety crutch, and I would only focus my energy and attention on them, and I would be very involved with them whenever we went out places and spaces. And when I started going by myself, I was so open to new people coming my way, and it kind of forced me into having conversations and opening up and not being so socially anxious. It really helped me with my confidence and self-esteem. And now I can go places I love going places by myself
yeah,
because there's so much magic that can happen. Because, and I'm not saying don't go friends with or places with your friends, still do that. But when I go out and about to go exploring on adventures to new places, it's like anything can happen because I'm so open and my energy and my attention is not pointed at my friends over here.
yeah.
it really is a completely different experience. You just got to work through the fear. Start small, go to the movies by yourself.
Yeah.
That's one of the things
Yeah.
I did, because I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm just sitting in the dark by myself and nobody's, doing anything. That was a great place to start. Or just going somewhere where there's a lot of activity happening, like if your city has a market days or a flea market, anything
Yeah.
like that, where
Yeah.
there's just a lot going on and you're not kind of just standing there like, oh, what do I do?
Right.
Yes, or an
Oh,
art
that's
class or
great.
something with an intention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
I didn't
I
know about
am
that stuff.
Yes, I'm excited for you. You'll have to tell me when you go. I had a client that was kind of in the same space, and she was very worried about going out by herself. And she went to a metaphysical fair by herself, and she said she had the most fantastic time. She got an energy reading. She found all this
Yeah.
fun stuff. Like
Yeah.
it was just getting over the hump and getting over the fear. And then after that, she said, "I'm good to go now."
Yeah.
Yes.
I would love to find a bear like that.
Yeah, and you may have to look at the surrounding cities. Like sometimes I have to drive an hour and a half to go to like the next like really big city, but it's always worth it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Good
just to
idea.
take a day for yourself.
That's great.
Yes. I am going to send you your oracle cards and your crystal grid, and I'll send you the replay. And then if you need anything else in the future, let me know.
Okay. Thank you,
Okay. Yeah.
Sage. You're
And
awesome.
not to pressure you, okay, I do have the Quantum Evolution Academy. If you are
Oh, yeah.
looking for community and for persons to be able to build that with, if that's an option in the future, if you want as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. I saw
Yeah.
some of your emails, so I will check that out.
Okay. Yeah.
But
And if
yeah.
you have any questions or anything, always feel free to reach out to me. You have my phone number. You can text me.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Have
Thank
a magical
you.
day. You're welcome. Bye.